Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans for January 28th. This is our last TNT of January, and we are so glad you guys are all here. This tells me a lot of people got their email reminder today. Yes? Nod your head yes, if you got it. Okay, good. Yay, I worked it out. All right, guys, my name is Jen Neitzel. I am the creator of Marketing for Notaries, and I am joined by the one and only fabulous, my notary bestie, Laura Biewer. Hi, Laura. How are you doing today?
Oh, super fantastic.
Wonderful. Laura's business is called Coach Me Laura, as you guys all know, and she's going to share with us ways you can connect with her a little later in the call. But first, let me welcome any new viewers out there. If you have never joined a Tuesday Notary Titan, or TNT as we like to call it, welcome. We are so glad that you are here on this very impactful, informative, and I would say best free notary coaching call out there. So we are thrilled that you are here. If you are coming back, you know how this works, kind of like an old-fashioned radio call-in show. If you have questions for us, we would love to answer them for you. All you have to do is go to the bottom of your Zoom screen and click on the raised hand feature. And that will put you in live to have your questions about your notary business or the practice of being a notary answered by myself, Laura. And of course, we are joined by our amazing support team, which is Matt Miller, who is not on the call today. He will be joining us either later or next week. And the fabulous, wonderful Jen Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary. Now, Jen, she's waving at you right now. She's going to be with us in a minute to go over her mentoring minute that she shares with us now every week. She's going to be talking about that in just a second. First, I'm going to start the way we always do and just go over some announcements. There are some events coming up that I would love for you to partake in. You know, in my specialty of networking, I tell people all the time the importance of attending networking events that are notary centered. And there's a great virtual one that's coming up this weekend on Saturday, February 1st, and that's Level Up, hosted by Lori Morgan with Sign Here and There Notary out of Indiana. It is all virtual. There's how many speakers, Laura? Like Laura speaking, I'm speaking, Matt speaking. It's like 20 speakers. Bill's going to be there, Bill Soroka, Judy Lawrence. Um, yeah, so many cool people are going to be there. So if you are unable to attend an in-person one, this is a cost-effective way to network with other notaries, start building those relationships and potential future collaborations and referral partnerships. And then, of course, our very own Laura Biewer is going to be guesting on Notary Stars on February 3rd at 5 p.m. Pacific time, talking about deliberate practice. Laura, can you just give us the Reader's Digest version? When you say deliberate practice, what do you mean by that?
What I mean is going beyond your starting point. So you learn something new, you build a skill, and instead of just moving away from it, you continually come back to it to expand it, and you have deliberate practice, not just repetition.
Yeah,
Because
I
there's
love
a difference between the two. So we're going to use examples of how you can do that, particularly with your notary skills, certificates, journaling, identification. And we're just going to break it down into small chunks and how you can do that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And such an important lesson. So I encourage all of you, hop over to Notary Stars on February 3rd. That's Monday. And the replay will be available for purchase if you are not live on the call. If you are joining the call, you must have, to be able to join, to get the link, you must have a registered Zoom account. It can be the free version, it doesn't have to be the paid one, but you cannot register for the call without that. And then the last event I want to bring up is happening in March, which seems like it's really far away, but a quick blink of an eye and it'll be here. And that is the Pacific Northwest Notary Meetup. If you are in the PNW, we are so excited to share this event with you, hosted by two amazing notaries out of Seattle, Karen Tollison and Michelle Klein. We had them on talking about it, their event, our first call back after the first of the year. That is Friday, March 14th and Saturday, March 15th. It's located at the Mayflower Park Hotel downtown, and the link is now in the chat if you are interested in getting your tickets for that. And I encourage you to. It's going to be a great lineup. Laura and I were both there last year, and it was a wonderful conference, wasn't it, Laura?
It was.
Yeah, it really was packed full of value. And there's our Matt Miller. He is here. We were just talking about you, Matt. Just saying that you are one of the people that help support us on this call, and we are so thankful for both you and Jen. So, speaking of Jen, while all of you guys are raising your virtual hands, don't forget, bottom of your screen, raise your hand to have your question asked. While you're doing that and getting in line to have those questions answered, Jen Cooper is going to offer you today our mentoring minute. Jen?
Thank you, Jen. So, hey, everybody, I want to talk about something that might seem small, but it can make or break your signing, and that's pens. Those magical writing sticks that somehow disappear faster than cookies at an office party. You guys wouldn't show up to a signing without your notary stamp. So why would you rely on the maybe there's a pen somewhere strategy? Recently, I've seen notaries doing that awkward pen hunt dance, rummaging through drawers or borrowing that crusty old pen that's been sitting in someone's car since 1995. Not a good look, my friends. So I want you to stock up on both blue and black pens, because sometimes clients are particular about their ink color, and you want to be the hero who says, I've got just what you need. Keep a healthy stash of backups too, because here's the funny thing about good pens. They're like socks in a dryer. The moment someone loves writing with them, poof, they mysteriously vanish. And then remember that being a notary is about professionalism and preparedness. When you show up ready with your pen arsenal, you're not just bringing writing instruments, you're bringing peace of mind. And the worst case scenario, you're going to have a lot of pens, a lifetime supply of pens for your grocery list. So stay prepared, and may your pen cups always runneth over. I'm going to put links to my favorite pens that I use for my notary business, my blue and black pens. And these are the ones that I've found to be the most reliable and comfortable for signings. And your clients will thank you. So that has been my mentoring minute.
Thank you, Jen. I love that. Seems so little, right? Like a little thing, but it is so important. Laura, do you have a favorite brand of pen?
My favorite is Tool, T-U-L.
Mm-hmm.
They are a little bit more pricey. They're gel, blue and black, and they have one for lefties so that it doesn't smear, like for me. Unless somebody has this favorite pen that's the only thing they use, I pull out my pens and we use my pens. They will many times have pens on the table, and it's a hotel pen. It's a who knows where it came from, the junk drawer pen. And I do not allow those pens at my signings.
I love it. I love it.
I've had notaries come notarize things for me that don't bring their own pens. And I say to myself, and I've said to them, you're a notary. Above everything else in your bag should be an endless supply of pens.
That's right.
What we do. So yeah, my little piece today.
Yeah.
Andy wanted to piggyback on that.
I'm sorry, me or Candy?
No, Candy.
Oh, Candy. Do you have a piggyback? Or do you have a question?
I have a piggyback on that, especially for new notaries. Watch out when you first sit at the table. I find a lot of women who are signers come up and they pull their pin out of their purse, their special little pin that they want to use. And I'm like, I love your pin. Let me have it. And I put it over on the other side of the table because I don't want them to reach for it accidentally in the middle of the signing, or their spouse to reach for it. And then half your papers are blue and half are black. Please just make sure you take I know I don't know that I'm being rude. It's just more of like, yeah, we can't have that. It has to be all blue ink. And then they're like, oh, I have a blue pen. Great. You're more than welcome to use that. I have no problem with that. But yeah, for new notaries, that's something to watch out for mid-signing. because I'll get documents back that have half blue and half black, and it's just, oh my gosh, it's so upsetting. So keep those blue pens on the table for us, please.
That's a great point. That's happened to me in the past too, where somebody I didn't even notice sitting across the table and they're signing, and I'm like, that's black. I need blue. And we take it for granted, right? But it is a great reminder. So those simple little things can be a great reminder. And we'd love for you guys to share your favorite pens in the chat if you've got some that you use. I actually use the Pentel RSVP pens. I like that. It's very smooth writing, and I'm a hard writer, like I push really hard. So it has that little comfort guard on there, like, in kindergarten when they would give you the little pencil guide. It's like that. So that's what I use. But yeah, put your favorite pens. So if you are looking for new pens to stock your notary bag, you can try out some of these that are in the chat. All right, guys, who has some questions today for us? I guess
Matt,
we're all gonna be
waving your
quiet.
hand. Do you want to
Yeah.
contribute?
We'll let Sarah go first, and then I'll give my update on the passport agent law.
Oh, cool. Great. Thanks, Matt.
Great.
Sarah, what's your question?
Ironically, with the pens, I'm fully stocked and I do have some backups, but I'm down to like the pilots. And last night I was looking through my bag and I'm like, how did I only get down to like 2 of these? They've just been disappearing for the last month. So anyway, I do have backups. My actual question is on iPen, so the in-person electronic notarization. I know it's out there. I have a rough understanding of what it is. But what are all the other things that I need to know as far as when is it used? What tech is required? I'm going through and updating my profiles on a lot of the platforms, and I want to make sure, I don't know if I'm equipped to be able to do them, and I would like to be able to offer that if it's out there and usable.
Laura is going to have more information on iPen than I do. Laura, do you want to chime in?
So yeah, a little bit. I want to say, first of all, where iPen, if it's being used, has been more real estate related that I've seen. It really hasn't been adopted very well outside of that. Number 2, you need, what state are you in, Sarah?
Tennessee.
So I don't know off the top, because Tennessee's a little different in terms of an e-seal. I don't remember. Traditionally, do you require a seal for your certificate in Tennessee? A seal of office?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 states. I know Michigan for sure. And then there's a couple of other ones that they can have one optionally, but it's not a requirement within their state. And if you're not required to have a seal of office, then you may not need an e-seal. Matt, did you happen to catch a look?
Yeah, I just looked it up. So Tennessee notaries performing in-person electronic notarization must have a notary seal, a contract with a state-approved technology provider, use technology that ensures both parties are present, which is in person, and it has to be secure. So if you use one that's on your state's approved list, you probably will cover bullet number 2 and 3, or 3 and 4.
Okay, thank you.
And see how fast and easy it was for Matt to just go to Tennessee handbook or regulation, wherever he looked, and boom, 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 there it is. Thank you, Sarah, for asking that question and allowing us to demonstrate, what we do. We don't keep it all in our heads either. We go right to the source, look it up, do a search, and there it is. So thank you for asking that.
Thank you.
Great question, Sarah. And Matt, you have an update for us, you said.
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
Do, and this is a good one, guys. So last week, the question came up about a passport agent law that was in the Senate that would enable notaries public to register with the Department of State to be able to handle passport services. And while the standalone law did not pass out of the Senate, what I wasn't aware of at the time is that that law was put into the National Defense Authorization Act as an amendment, which was passed and signed into law on December 20-something. So that is going to be a brand new opportunities for notaries this year once the State Department promulgates rules and guidance on that. I'm going to place an article about that we published today in the chat. You can read more about it and what it is and how it can help you expand your business and how you can get ready for it now. That way, when the State Department's ready to start authorizing notaries to become passport agents, you'll be ahead of the curve. Guys, this is good news. This is great for us because this is an added revenue stream that before we were prohibited from by law. So check it out, and I will keep you informed as things roll out from the State Department.
You're gonna
Matt,
put a link in the chat, Matt?
you did.
I did. It's just going
Okay.
really fast.
Yeah.
Where's this?
I
Here we go.
so I love this update, Matt. This is so exciting because, like you said, it is a potential revenue stream. Can you just briefly, I know you don't have all the details yet, but can you just briefly explain how that is, how that would be a revenue stream?
So you can now, if approved, once the State Department's ready, you could handle issuing passports. You could handle what they call hand currying passports back and forth between the passport office. And of course, you can charge a fee for all of those things too. So that's how this can become a new revenue service for you. Now, we don't know all the details yet, but we do know that this is going to be a new opportunity for notaries this year. So that's about as much as I can share at this time.
That's awesome. And this is why it is so important for you guys to stay up to date with all this new legislation. Whether you are a California notary or not, you should be part of the California League of Independent Notaries, Matt's nonprofit, because this is what he does. He keeps us all up to date on these things, potential new revenue opportunities, laws we need to know about. It's so important. Thank you so much, Matt, for that awesome update. That's amazing.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, who has some questions for us? One of the questions in the on the form that we have for folks that maybe aren't comfortable asking a question live is, where can I get the TNT link? It said I didn't get it last week. Let me explain about last week, the recording. If you guys recall, it just went off, right? It said recording stopped. So the only thing it kept in Zoom was the last 15 minutes. I can't control that. So I don't know what happened there other than my internet kept going out because of the freeze that we were having last week. But if you would like to catch a replay of this TNT or any of them really since December, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is just at Marketing for Notaries on YouTube, and you will find all of the replays there. They are no longer hosted on the Notary Coach website. They'll be on the Marketing for Notaries, Notary Coach YouTube page. They're no longer there. They're on Marketing for Notaries, and very soon on Coach Me Laura as well on her YouTube page. Jade Pierce. Hi, Jade. You have a question for us. What can we do for you?
Hello, thank you so much. Yes, my question is regarding to a notarization for State of California Notice of Termination of Domestic Partnership. So a little bit of context, I have an upcoming notary appointment. She wants to terminate a domestic partnership. What's interesting though, is she is now a resident here in Washington, as am I. Obviously the document is per California, and she and her partner both have Arkansas driver's license. So there's a lot of different states at play. I have read the directions entirely, and the good news is even though both she and her partner are separate, they were living in different states, per the instructions, they say that this document can be notarized by 2 different notaries at 2 different times. So it doesn't have to happen simultaneously, nor by the same notary. However, the acknowledgement notarial certificate I'm seeing, it is specifically stating it's California. Now, is it best practice to use an acknowledgement, my own acknowledgement notary certificate, and attach it? Or am I able to use that California acknowledgement, but cross out California and say Washington instead?
That is a great question because California is just, unfortunately, it's our way of the highway. We don't play nice with other states, but so we have issues with using other states' certificates unless it complies with our rules. Now, coming back the other way, I'm going to tell you that there's reciprocity amongst all 50 states for acknowledgements as long as it doesn't break a rule within your own state, right? So that's where I would start and say, okay, I could use other states' acknowledgements. However, I'm going to tell you there's a couple of things about California. There is a penalty of perjury line that says per the state of California. You see that? And
Yep.
you may not want to be held to the penalty of perjury laws of my state when you don't live in my state,
Okay.
because you're certifying that you're willing to be held to that. So besides fixing the venue, you might want to change California to your state. And I don't like having to do anything but venue changes. When more than the venue has to be changed, I don't like messing with that. And so I would, if I was in another state and I don't want to be held to California requirements, I would replace that certificate with my state's acknowledgement instead. I think that would be a safer route for you to go than messing around with striking stuff out of the certificate. That'd be my recommendation for you.
Great. Thank you.
Great question, Jade. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Who else has a question for us that they would like to ask Laura, myself, Matt, or Jen Cooper? Wow, they're quiet today, Laura.
Well, they're thinking hard. They got their thinking caps on, trying to come up with something.
Can we do something a little different today since we don't have a lot of questions? Oh,
They ask
wait.
permission? Okay.
Wait, well, put a pin in that. Chris B, is that correct? Chris, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. I caught you right in the middle of that.
That's okay. Chris, where are you coming from?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, but I can't. Everything went dark on my computer.
Uh-oh. We can still hear you and see you.
Oh
So
my goodness, I can't see a thing on mine. Isn't that weird? Anyway, in addition to the last question, when you have a document, it's a legal document like that, and she's going to change the whole acknowledgement, is she going to pin through that whole acknowledgement and initial it and then attach the cert?
So I don't recommend you strike entire certs. When we're going to replace it, my
Yes.
recommendation is that where the signature line would be for the notary, that's where I write see attached certificate, my initials, and then I would attach my replacement certificate.
Okay,
instead.
so just that one part. Okay. I had a couple other silly, and these may be silly, but I'm just starting out my mobile notary business. I've been a notary for a long time under employers and legal offices. So I have a couple, and I've been working on my trust delivery.
Right.
You talk about this is about pricing. When you have you ask people to come along and witness on the estate docs, how much do you compensate those witnesses?
Part of it for me, because I do that frequently, part of it has to do with, are they staying right around here in Modesto where it's 5 minutes for them to get there and they're 5 minutes at the table versus they got to drive a half an hour away to the next city. So when it's just close by, it's about $30 is what I give a notary to come sign, witness the will. If they have to drive, a half an hour away, then whatever their travel fee is, I need to give them a travel fee. So it could be $50 to go over and sign a document if they're driving, within our 20-mile radius.
Okay, so and
some people could charge more or less depending on their geographic area.
Okay, so you're going to add.
Yeah, it's $15 for us just to notarize a signature. And so I'm trying to do something similar and adding some travel to that to give them the extra, and I charge the client that. Either the client pays that witness directly, or they've added it onto my fee, and then I pay the witness directly.
Okay, I
But,
appreciate that.
does Jen or Matt hire other witnesses, or other people hired you to be a witness only?
Yes and yes.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I decided to up my witness price. And when I did that, now I have a whole bunch of people that are like, the second you need a witness, my son does it, my dad does it, because I pay $50. I charge $50. And the reason I do that, no matter what the situation is it actually encourages the client to maybe try a little harder than they were trying to get witnesses of their own. Because it's a pain in our butts to coordinate that. I don't actually get paid any extra to coordinate that. So I raise my price, and if they're like, they don't want to mess with it, then I have people that are making money and they come very willingly. That is
my
how I,
son's a notary, and he does all the ones at my office and right here in town. And then I have notary friends in other cities nearby, so I don't make him drive to the next city over. I just call that notary in that town, say, hey, can you do me a favor? Pop on over and take care of that.
Yeah.
But I get a good fee for the overall package. So I do feel that that request to coordinate is well covered within
Right.
what I offer.
right.
Thank you so much.
I actually I give them $40 and charge it back to the client. And I make sure I do all of the witnessing stuff up front so they can get in and get out. And I give them two $20 bills and send them on their way.
There you go.
That's how I do it. Matt, what do you do?
Well, I'm going to ditto what Jen Cooper said because I don't like finding witnesses. It's just a task I don't enjoy. So I come in at $50 minimum, which, yes, encourages the client to find a neighbor, a friend, a coworker, etc. And then they kind of take care of it themselves. But on occasion, I will bring along my partner or another notary in town that I know that is available.
There you go. $30 to $50.
Yep.
Fantastic. Can I have
And
one
Chris,
more
I wanna
question?
share- yeah, absolutely. But before you go to your next question, I just want to share, Jen Cooper is right now pulling up a link for a new witness hub that has been launched by Tony Benson, who is the person behind notarycalendar.com, that cool widget that you can put on your website
Yeah.
that builds in your drive time for your scheduling. So she's going to post that. So be looking she's going to grab it. It's going to take a minute or two. So look in the chat if you want to tap into some witnesses, or you want to sign up to be a witness through Witness Hub. This is your chance to do that. And then Chris, you had another question for us.
Another silly mobile notary question.
No such thing as a silly question.
How do you, as a mobile notary, protect your seal and journal when you're running around during the day between appointments and you have to go in a store? I don't have a trunk I can shut. So I'm wondering, do you have a safety box? What do you keep? What do you do?
I have a
Carry it
big
with you?
bag personally that if I'm walking around, if my notary stamp and journal are in the car, and I shouldn't say journal anymore because I use the eJurat now, the electronic journal. But if I'm walking around with that, my notary bag comes with me. I do not leave it in my car at all. Laura, what do you do?
Well, because I have the e-journal, my cell phone is on me. I just pull out my seal and I leave the bag in the car. My
Yeah.
car is locked.
Yeah.
But now they don't have a seal, nor do they have a journal.
Matt, what about you?
I just take it with me if I'm ducking in someplace real quick.
Yeah.
Because I had my car broken into several years ago, and they did steal my notary bag, and I was out of work for months because of it.
Huh?
So I don't take any chances anymore.
Mhm. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
I'll
That's
post a link to
definitely
the
a lesson
article I
to
wrote
learn
about it in
from.
the chat.
Yeah. Jen Cooper, what do you do?
The link. Oh, I didn't catch the question. I was searching for links. What was the question?
When you're out at a notary appointment and you say you have to run into FedEx, do you leave your journal and your stamp in your car
No.
with you, or what do you do?
I take everything with me. It's my responsibility. I don't want to be out of work for a couple months, and people are shady. And I have nice bags, and they look at my
True
nice
that.
bag like, ooh, she must have something really exciting in there. So take it with me.
Does that
That's
answer
a-
your question, Chris?
Yes. And thank you very much. And I am going to get off of this and try to get back on because of the
Oh,
screen.
no. Hey, and listen, keep coming back every week. This is a great free coaching call for you. If you're just starting out your business, to ask all those questions there. Please don't ever think that your questions are silly. If you're wondering it, somebody else is wondering it too. So we appreciate you asking those questions today. Thanks so much.
Thank you
And
for
the
your support.
guys, the link for the Witness Hub is in the chat. It's free to sign up for. There's no fee. And if you do have a My Notary Calendar account, you go up to the top of the list in your area for witnesses.
Oh, that's even better. What a nice bonus.
Yep.
What a nice bonus. Thank you so much, Christy. And we look forward to seeing you week after week. Laura, before we go to Jen's question really quick, can you tell us, you and Matt did an amazing webinar. Was it almost a month ago now, right?
January 4th.
Almost this month, man. Whoosh.
Fun.
Can you tell us, while Jen puts the link in the chat, where people can catch that replay?
Absolutely. And there are two ways. So I'll give you mine first. If you go to coachmelora.com/products, you will find the replay there for purchase. If you were a paid registrant, you got the replay for free. But if not, and you just missed the whole deal, now you have a way to get to it. But there's another way. There's more. Matt,
But wait,
our
there's
friend.
more.
our friends, what's mine? Curtain number 3.
Current number 3, if you are a current paid member to the California League of Independent Notaries, you will get access to the California New Law webinar that Laura and I hosted. It talks about the new copy certification law and the update on where we are with remote online notarization, and all of our videos for that matter. So check us out at calendars.org or
Put a link in for both of you guys, or it's already in the chat. So you can go to Laura, you can join Matt. You guys can get access to it right away.
Great. Thanks so much, Jen.
Nice. Thank you guys for sharing that. That is for California notaries, guys. California notaries only. The Ron update. I didn't say that at the top. Thank you, Laura. And Jen Clark, tell us what state you are in and what your question is.
Hi there. I'm in Los Angeles, California. It's good to be here. Last week was actually my first week on this call. I've had it on my schedule for a long time, but just haven't been able to make it with appointments. So this is fantastic. My question actually relates back to what you just mentioned about the notary calendar. I was interested to hear people's experiences with online booking for the very purpose of booking travel times and, allowing buffer. I think that has been, I haven't looked into it a ton just for that reason. I like to have complete control over my schedule because I also have a daughter that I take to and from school, and I, like to manage my own situation, and traffic in LA is very volatile. So just, interested to hear your experience with using an online booking calendar.
I am going to ask Jen if she wouldn't mind putting the link in the calendar for notary in the chat for notary calendar, Jen, so you can check that out. And look, another Jen. There's so many of us.
Jen.
And Jen Clark, thank you so much for coming back to the call. We are happy that you're here. And I'm a big believer and a promoter, actually, of the notary calendar because it builds in that drive time. So for someone like yourself who does have to deal with the congestion of traffic on the regular, this is a great thing for you to look into. It's affordable. Do you have a website already, Jen? Okay. This is a widget that you can just plug into your website so people can book you online. I am of the belief that the easier we make it for people to book our services, the more business we're going to get. So that's how I, look at it.
Yeah.
Laura, how do you take appointments?
Well, personally, because of my situation, I don't use online booking for that. I will allow people to book a consult with me automatically using Calendly. But anything that's a notary appointment where I'm going to go out to do notarization work, they have to speak to me. I need to go through the 5 qualifications. I need to make sure they understand that I've got a travel fee, even if it doesn't work out. If I've already shared with them, here's what you need. And then of those 5, something's not right, but I already went over it. And I just need to know a little more. And my final reason is just because I'm a little more old school. And so I like to talk to people, and people like it when a real person answers. And I just had an assignment this week, and I was not the first notary he contacted. It was for a trust. And I guess the bot was answering and asking questions. So whatever their software was, that notary software, and he didn't like it. He goes, no, I want to talk to a person. And so he let go of that one. And then I was the next one he called, and I answered. He goes, oh my God, a live person. When can you come? So I'm not saying it's not a good idea. I think a lot of people successfully use it. I just don't find it works for me. And guys, remember, I teach where I'm booked out all day. I have a lot of other things I do besides being a practitioner.
And was that your smelly cat appointment, Laura, that you were at yesterday?
No, that was a different one.
She texted me from an appointment.
That
She
was an
goes, "Oh my
attorney."
God, smelly cat from Friends. I can't get it out of my head in this house.
It was because I could barely breathe. So I had to do something to distract myself. And that's what came to mind. Here comes
So
walking out
Jen-
a black cat.
So Jen Clark,
I felt so bad.
I just want to piggyback on what Laura said. We love piggybacks around here, Jen, in case you didn't figure that out yet. But so this booking widget allows people to, to book your time. That doesn't mean you can't call them back and confirm everything you need to confirm at that point, which is the proper way to handle it. I'm so glad you brought that up, Laura, to be able to make sure that person is qualified, because what happens is I was just commenting this morning on a TikTok that a notary put out. She went to do a credible witness signing, and even the credible witness, their license was expired. And, had she asked the proper questions, that wouldn't have happened. So just because somebody books through an automated booking system doesn't mean you can't follow up with a question. Does that help answer the question you had?
Yeah,
I
it
also-
really does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
a
go
lot of
ahead.
people do it, and they do a great job with it.
Yeah.
Right.
I just feel like for my business, I want to do it a different way.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about being your own, your business, a business owner. You don't have to do things the way we do it. If you would rather do phone calls, then, I've been in a room with Laura Bewer when she gets her phone calls, and I could not handle the volume that she gets. Personally, I would never get anything done. It's amazing to me that you still can, Laura. But, that's a personal decision, for you to make, and how you want to get your business set up, Jen.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I think I had looked at Calendly originally because when I built using Google Workspace, I think that was the one that they include that you can, add through Squarespace. And I was like, that's not going to work. So I'll definitely look at Notary Calendar, but that's good kind of feedback for how to work it in.
And Matt has a recommendation for you as well, Acuity, that he's used that for years and loves it. So find the product that gives you what you need for the business that you are setting up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. Pam Adame, how are you, my friend?
I'm okay, thank you. Question, can your notary stamps be re-inked?
Depends on which one you bought. The one
Well,
from
I have the
NNA
one
has a
from the
tray,
NNA.
and it can be re-inked.
Okay,
But you got to buy the little tray thing and replace the tray. Don't just add ink to it.
got it. And I'll probably go on YouTube or something. I invested in hold on one second, get this out of here. I got an embosser just so I could have it, but I have no idea how to use it. So I thought maybe there was some YouTube or something I could look at.
Yeah, NNA has a YouTube on it.
Okay, Sounds good. That's it.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
Diana Hanson. Hi, Diana. She's right here in Texas, down the road from me in Saginaw. What is your question, Diana?
I've got two things. One's for Jen, the lady that just got off. There is on the NNA product Find a Notary, like one of the nice things is like you can get a notification either by email or through the text message, but you can screen those signers and qualify. I'm old school too, but that's one of the nice things. But at the bottom of those notifications, when they sign up, it tells them, hey, you got to have a current license and whatnot. So that's a big benefit for me. I don't have to always be the bad guy because they kind of make it clear cut what's needed and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is on the Zoom, they've moved where you can save the chat. They moved that little button. I didn't realize it till last week, but those three little dots on the meeting chat, they've moved it to the upper right corner, at least on
Upper
my
right.
version. And I just didn't notice it till last week. I was trying to save it and I didn't get it last week. So if you go all the way up to the right corner of that dialog box, you'll see the three dots, and if you click on it, it'll say save chat. And then I had something weird happen last week. I called the police, and luckily I realized it was a scam and I didn't get any money lost. But there's a new thing happening. They're hitting on notaries, and they're not just hitting on older people, but I started getting emails, and they were like, they were saying that they represented a real legit company, and they were like doing their email return almost legit, but it wasn't legit. There was just something really fishy. But they were saying they were from Encore, but they were representing the RMS Services, which is like a division of those merchant registered companies. And they were trying to tell me I owed money, and something just didn't click. I was like, hey, Encore, I paid my service provider. So I went online and it said billing department, you pay your energy department. So I called the police, and the policeman said I did the right thing, and the caller ID was on my phone. But this person, they now know technology is so smart. This is why I don't do certain types of notarization. They know how to copy another person's phone number and use it. And so when we called that phone number, it wasn't that person. And it just freaked me out. So please do your due diligence and don't let them fool you. They said it's very prominent this time of year, and it'll probably peak during April and May when you're filing taxes. So that's my public announcement this week. But it was kind of scary, but I couldn't press charges because I didn't lose any money, but they wrote up a report and they put it in the paper and whatnot. So,
well, thank you for that. And I agree with Diana. I feel like I know for certain our family text chain from the kids pretty much daily now. Is this legit? Do I really have a package at UPS to pick up? Did you really not pay the toll tag thing, Mom, for our, like I'm seeing, but are y'all see, I mean, just nod, like if you have your camera, are y'all seeing an uptick in these kind of scam email? Yeah, it's just, we really got to be due diligent. So please don't ever feel weird about sharing that if you guys notice something, to help keep each other informed. That's the power of a call like this.
And Jen, the more recent one that I got, my husband got, and my son got, was the toll bridge from, they're saying they're from, what's that called, Matt? Where we have that little device.
Oh, California. I
can't think of what it's called.
That's Fast Track.
Fast Pass. They say they're from Fast Pass, and that I owe, I don't know, $9 or $7. I mean, it's like within the realm of possibility, one, because I drive in that area, but I have a fast pass. And of course, it's taking it off my account. I always have money in there, so I should never owe. The first time it happened, which was probably 6 months ago, I did follow up with law enforcement, and they said, no, there's this thing going on, watch out for it. And now it hit all three of us, but we all know to ignore it. But see, they represented a government agency. I happen to be someone who travels where there are tolls. And so it sounded, and the pricing was in the right range. So it sounded like that could be true, but it was not. So they're getting better and better at trying to match up situations and pretend to be somebody they're not.
And as AI continues to
Mhm.
grow and get smarter and smarter and smarter, because it is every day, I think this is just going to be something we have to live with. I mean, but it's happening here too in North Texas. We have the NTTA, North Texas Toll Authority, and that's, they're doing it for that. So I'm assuming they're targeting anybody that lives in a metro area that has any kind of toll roads. So it's so unfortunate that you just got to be careful, very, very careful. Let's go to Brian in California. He has a question for us.
No, I just wanted to piggyback on Notary Counter. Tony just launched his landing pages where you can open up business in 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, he does have a new product at Notary Calendar. We're going to be talking about that in the coming weeks a lot more, Brian. Thanks for foreshadowing that. But yeah, he does have a landing page where you can, instead of investing in a website, which is expensive when you are starting out your business, having a landing page just for people to go provide your business legitimacy. It's a great product. So we are going to be talking about that a lot more in the coming weeks. So thank you, Brian, for that reminder. So Tony is, I wish he was on the call. I don't see him on here today. He's got some great products, but you know who else does too? Laura Bewer. Laura, tell people how they can connect with you outside this call.
So a couple ways, guys, besides this call, I have another one at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's open to anybody, any state, doesn't matter. We do a deeper dive on some of these questions, and Matt facilitates that with me. And so if you want to go to Laura's Inner Circle, you'll find it on CoachMeLaura.com. Right on the homepage, sign up. We'll send you that link. The other way is if you need something more one-on-one, kind of a strategy call, or to connect you with the right resources, you can book an appointment with me for free. And that's at calendly.com/my last name Bewer. And then I'm happy. I do want to tell you, because I get these appointments set up and then I don't get a call. You have to call me. The phone number is mine sitting there. And so I wait for the 15 minutes and nobody called me. So if anybody's like, well, she didn't call me, I'm not going to call you. You have to call me. You're asking for my time. So call me when you're ready for that. And there is no limit. You can book more than one. So those are the most common ways that you can get to me. The other, we already announced the RON. So I think that's all I got for the moment.
Awesome. I just want to make sure people know how to connect with you on Saturday mornings, especially because you're that is such a great call, an intimate call that you guys, yeah, it's a small group coaching, but very higher end, deep questions, business related questions. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew how to get with that. And then of course, if they also want to book that 15-minute free call with you to get pointed in the right direction somewhere, I highly encourage you guys to do that as well. So I want to speak to our newer notaries on the call. We had a couple asking some questions today. And congratulations, you guys, on starting your business and putting your stamp to work to earn you some money. I'm very excited for you getting out there and starting your business. And one of the things I know that you need is a robust marketing plan. And I also know that maybe membership in a community or something is not really in your budget right now. So I get that, but I want to talk to you about two different things today. Marketing for Notaries has put out a yearly marketing calendar. This gives you every month 3 fresh ideas for pop-in marketing because yes, you have to get out and build relationships with people and build your know, like, and trust factor in your community. And it now comes with an explainer video on exactly how to use this calendar. So you've got 3 fresh pop-in ideas every month and 5 either blog post ideas or social media post ideas or things to talk about in follow-up emails, because I can tell you from my experience in marketing, the number one area that notaries, where we drop the ball, is in the follow-up. We drop the ball in the follow-up, and that is where connection is made. And it can be difficult to think of valuable information to provide people. So I did the work for you. So you can find the Marketing for Notaries marketing calendar for a full 12 months ready to go for you. Jen's going to put the link in the chat. And the second thing I want to talk to you about, as you have gotten emails about, I'm doing a membership drive through the end of this month for our new Marketing for Notaries community that's run over on the school platform. If membership is something that interests you in that community and learning very robust marketing tips and tricks and how to manage fear, we talk a lot about managing that fear that we all share in this group. I am leaving it open from today until the 31st, just a couple of days. If you want to join at the annual membership price of $124, it will be open for you. Otherwise, it's normally $199 for an annual membership or $25 a month if you want the monthly membership. But through the 31st, this is a promise I made to our NBB group, our Notary Business Builder group, when we went dark with that group, that I would make sure I leave an affordable price point open. And I wanted to offer that
there's the regular
to you guys as well. Okay, any other questions? We have a few minutes left. If anybody else has a question.
Wow, we are amazing.
There's silence.
Answered every question. We made every announcement.
I know, we are
My
like
gosh.
our educators. Rachel, are you going to come give us an update about what is going on with the Helping Hands Notary Group out in LA?
I can. The thing is, there hasn't been much of an update from the individuals who are leading that group. I've reached out to the Pasadena Library again. However, they're deferring me to the county level. So I have to actually wait for the county emergency response team to get back to me. And they've got a lot more to worry about than setting up notary appointments. And it's just one giant team kind of to organize everything. And I don't want to start setting up stuff that could actually interfere with some of their rescue efforts or recovery efforts. So I'm just kind of in a holding pattern at the moment. Hopefully I do hear back from someone. And I'll be calling the library a little later because they did ask me to contact them again if I didn't hear back from the county. But they had to make sure that they jumped through their appropriate hoops as well.
Sure, that makes sense.
Actually, I did have a question about the passport agent stuff. Since all of us are commissioned through our state, how does something on the federal level like interact with that? Like, how is that going to be upheld?
Well, we're not processing the actual passports. We're just the receiving agent to get it there.
Okay,
right, Matt?
all right.
That's what we're talking about. Like I'm my county clerk's office is an approved place where I can take my application in, my photo, my check for the government, right? The federal government, and they make sure that everything is right. They go over and they sign off on it, and they get an additional $35 separate fee from the check that I have to forward. So they're like a middle person. A post office, I think, is another one of those places where you go in and they make sure everything is good, and they get an extra fee separate from the government fee, but we're not involved in the processing of it.
No.
Okay, but will we still be checking, like you said, all those things to make sure that they have the right photo, that they have all the paperwork? That would be the agent part of all of that.
That would be
okay.
right. There would be a fee that you would get for that part of the deal.
Oh, well, that's actually really, really cool then. We were just noticing that on Saturday we went to the post office. There was an enormous line at the passport counter. So I'm wondering if something that this is to help alleviate some of that stress on the government employees.
We couldn't get an appointment for my husband's passport until February 14th, and that was in the beginning of January for us to get an appointment to take his stuff down.
Yeah, the emphasis on this is so that people don't have to go to an authorized brick and mortar to do passport acceptance. There's other things in the bill that they're going to implement, like online applications and that sort of thing as well, to help alleviate a backlog. But I would imagine they're probably going to get on this pretty quickly, because it's estimated that 19 million passports are coming up for renewal this year. And so, think about people who live in rural areas. They may have to drive hours to get to a passport acceptance office, whereas you, as a notary, might be able to alleviate that and go directly to them, take the picture, help them fill out the forms, charge your fee, and then forward it on to the actual office for processing.
Do we know if there would be any training available for some of that document checking?
There's probably going to be required training, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Great question. And what an exciting opportunity coming our way soon. And listen, guys, Matt is going to update us. I know Matt, he's going to update us along the way and make sure that we are fully informed about this potential new revenue opportunity, right, Matt?
Oh yeah, it's going to be a big one.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, any last questions before we wrap up today?
Good one.
Melissa, she will be our last question today. What can we do for you, my friend?
Hi, good morning.
Hey.
I was at the apostille's office yesterday, and one lady needed they told her, well, you need an acknowledgement sign. There was a lot of things going on. Anyway, so I didn't charge her. I made her an acknowledgement. And then she called me and said, oh, they wouldn't take it because you put M. Dominguez, and that's on my commission and on the stamp there. So I wasn't understanding.
I think I might have an idea of what happened, Melissa. Your signature doesn't sound like your signature matched what's on file. Do you remember what you signed on your notary public application?
Yes, it's just I have my little signature. It's not even all written out like a, you know what I mean? I have my.
That is an M. Dominguez. That's really what Matt's asking you.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like a swiggle something, M swiggle like.
But whatever it is,
for 4
whatever it
years.
is, Melissa, the thing is that if it's not substantially the same as what they have on file, whatever that looks like, they will reject it. If they think it looks a little different, they're going to say, I don't think that's the notary signature. So you could have signed your name with the same letters, but perhaps you were holding the paper different. You were on a clipboard, you were at a different angle. And so it didn't look like your typical signature, and they're toughening up on that. And when they say substantial, they mean that. It's like, it needs to be, I think they told me at the county clerk, 80%. They have to be 80% like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. If they think it's not even that close, then forget it. They're going to reject it.
That's happened to me a couple times. And you basically have to either redo it if the client's available, or once I actually went to the Secretary of State's office and I had them pull what is on file so I could look at
it.
Because signatures do change over time without us even knowing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to call them too, I guess, and ask them to check.
Go in person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
No.
thank you.
Thanks, Melissa, for the question. And just quickly, I think with so much deed fraud out there, so much fraud happening just across the board, we were just talking about different scams and things like that happening. I'm glad that at this they are checking these things because it's going to help, right? It's going to help protect us. I know it's a pain for you, Melissa, right now.
Actually, it sounded like the guy at the counter, when he looked at it, he just said, I can't write M. Dominguez. I have to write Melissa Dominguez on my cert when my commission's in M. Dominguez. That was the problem, not my signature.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
That sounds like a conversation with the office
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, it does, because that just could be a technician at the desk, at the
Right.
front counter, who sometimes they're wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
And
what I was
sometimes
thinking.
they're wrong. They're just, technician level people that are hired, and sometimes they make mistakes.
Yeah, that's very true. Good point. All right, guys, we've come to another conclusion to this amazing weekly call. I'm so glad you guys were all here. I hope to see you back next week. But Laura, will you close us out today?
I will. I have a mantra that I want to share with you, and I'm sharing it with you because you're on this call, and that is skills before money, right? You have to develop the skill. You have to ask the questions. You need to practice. Skills first, the money comes after. You don't have to chase it. I promise you, when you're good at what you do, you will keep customers coming back. And those are customers you don't have to go find again. So skills before money. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Bye.